mode now. Reservation and loyalty mode on order board.
So we'll wait for a little bit and get everyone logged in here, including myself.
Number one.
Maybe.
My number one, Joe.
You're the number one. Oh, I'm probably number two. Bonnie's watching. That's exciting. I'm here too.
There you are, CT. What's your middle name?
Elizabeth.
Really?
CEP.
Yeah, I did.
What are you?
Anna.
Anna.
Bonnie Anna.
Just like Anna.
Anna.
Anna. Anna's not here today. That's a
Anna
bummer.
did not show, but hopefully she's with us in spirit.
She's with us in spirit, and we'll try to get her here on Saturday.
I don't know if that's gonna happen. Remember, she said the next 2 weekends.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Her sister's getting married,
Yeah.
and she's moving, and
Great time to get married, I think.
yes, and she has, her sister is like, well, Anna has a lot on her plate
Yes.
right now.
Oh, that's
so-
right, Anna's moving this weekend.
Yes, and then,
Oh.
would you like to?
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, what a cute little bottle.
This is adorable. Oops.
Oh, yeah.
It leaks, be careful.
It's okay. Sanitize my paperwork here.
Yeah, here we go. All right.
Thank you, Wineshine, for the sanitizer, which we buy in bulk
Yes.
these days.
Hi, Anne Marie.
We have one on every table.
Thank you for coming in, listening,
Yeah.
getting some super Tuscans going.
Yeah. So we will be discussing Super Tuscans this evening while we sip our version of a Super Tuscan, which is our 2017 Tuscanites. And we have a mystery bottle
And that's that one. That's
on the left.
Yes.
Tuscanites on the left, mystery bottle on the right.
Yes.
See, without naming the brand, you can mention a little bit about this mystery bottle.
Well,
Scotty.
the mystery bottle is an Italian. It's they say this is a super Tuscan also. And one of the reasons why we wanted to compare this bottle to our bottle is because not very many people out there do make a super Tuscan around here. I think, what is it, Fratelli
Parata.
They're the only other one besides where I got this bottle. And
What about Caparoni? Caparoni?
Oh, I haven't been. I don't know. Is Caparoni even still?
Or Caparoni? I don't know. I think so. I'm not sure.
We'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Somebody had said that they've been around for a long time, but
They have.
I think the quality of life with the wines hasn't been the best. But I don't know. I haven't been, so
I haven't been for a while.
I'm not going to.
I ran into her at a grocery store once.
Hi, Kathy.
Thank you guys for joining. Good times to see us. Boy, your phone must be faster than mine because I get nothing on mine. But that's okay. So, at any rate, Super Tuscan. So we're going to talk, Super Tuscan is a word, obviously, that started in Italy. Well, maybe actually, I think they call it something different over there, but the concept is Super Tuscan. And we have Super Tuscan style wines here, but everyone always asks us what a Super Tuscan is, so we thought we would get into it a little more. So we'll talk about it. So whenever we talk about old world wines, which is anything from Europe, essentially, France, Italy, Spain, their rules and identification process on the wines are completely different than ours. But that is what creates the restrictions on the wines.
Exactly.
So in Italy, like we talked about before, or we can even go back to France. In France, it's typically by region, and then by chateau and Bordeaux, Burgundy,
Yes.
Rhone, Languedoc,
Champagne.
Champagne. That sounded almost Asian.
I know. Oh, please.
There is, okay, so if you guys didn't know, champagne, you cannot legally call sparkling wine in California or anywhere else champagne, even though I call it champagne, the bubbles, unless it is from Champagne, France. However, there are a couple grandfathered in wineries.
I think
And I
Corbel,
can't
isn't
think.
it? Corbel, and I want to say mums. Mum's the word.
You could get a bunch of mums.
Or what is it? There's one other. Yeah, I think it's mums that can call it champagne.
I can't remember. I'll have to look that one up. But otherwise, you have to call it sparkling wine.
Yes.
So in saying that, in Italy, they have their regions, you know, like we talked about previously, like Chianti, Tuscany, all of these things. And then they also have specifications on quality based on aging perhaps or quality of wine. So relatively recently, I'm gonna say relatively recently, because whenever we talk about wine, we're talking about 200-year-old rules and laws and things like that. This one actually was more recent. This is kind of this movement of these super Tuscan wines started in the 60s,
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, like 1963 is
Okay.
what I want to think I read. And then it got a little bit more popular in the 70s, and I think that's when the Super Tuscan started coming alive.
Alive and well known across
Yeah.
the world. So we keep throwing this word around super Tuscan. So what is a super Tuscan? Tell me.
Well, a Super Tuscan,
It's not like a superhero.
no,
I
it's
didn't
not like
see
a
him
superhero. So
in the latest Marvel series.
So Tuscany in Italy, there was a couple of winemakers that actually were in Tuscany, and they got together and they were throwing together some wines, and they made a Super Tuscan. But the problem was they weren't allowed to call it a Tuscan because
they were trying to use grapes that were not originated from Italy. So
right. So they were using a different.
They were using French grapes essentially.
Yeah, but it was on their terroir.
So basically, if you had planted Cabernet Sauvignon in Italy, and these guys were like, "Hey, I want to take a crack at that. Let me see what this is like." So they were blending wines that were not traditional, up to the standards of Italy's wine quality and location specifics.
Yeah.
And typically, a lot of times it was like these Bordeaux varietals, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cab Franc, Merlot, but then in other times it's like Syrah, I think.
So
Merlot's a Bordeaux, but you get the idea.
yeah, so just because so if you go to Bordeaux and you have a Bordeaux wine, we make Bordeaux style wines here in California, but we can't call it a Bordeaux because it's not from Bordeaux. So Tuscany, Super Tuscan, they could call it, they're a Super Tuscan because they can add the different quality of grapes in there too.
Well, and so in the 60s when they first started making these blends, it was kind of like seen as a little more rebellious because it was technically illegal for them to label it of the region. So that'd be like me planting Thompson seedless here in Paso Robles, and they would say, "No, Caitlin, you can't call it a Paso Robles appellated wine because it's not from here, whatever, originated." So that's what was kind of happening in Italy, and there were a few families or estates who were making these wines who really fought for it because they were able to make the blends, but they could not label them as from their location. And so they really wanted to identify them because otherwise they were kind of seen as lower quality.
Yeah, like a lower quality table wine.
Like a box wine.
Exactly.
If you will.
And so this was, you actually can go to Italy and actually try buying some Super Tuscans. They're like over $100 for some of these wines. And the quality is amazing. And so that's why I'm very excited about us making a Super Tuscan because I think our quality is just as good as what's in Italy.
So they're making these wines that they can't label, so it's harder for them to sell, even though the quality is there. So they, in the 80s, 70s and 80s is kind of when it went worldwide popular with these blends. And in 1992, the Italian government finally recognized this identity of a Super Tuscan. So they changed their rules around where within the Tuscany region, you can call it it's basically the Toscana IGT or the Toscana ADA for growing grapes of different origins.
Right.
If that makes sense. If you're following the bouncing ball.
And
hence called Super Tuscan.
Yes, and the Super Tuscan of today is actually, that's how they distinguish their Super Tuscan is not a table wine. It is a high quality wine.
Yeah, and so I think that whole thing in '92, creating that new region, which I'm going to show you here on the map, just really improved the entire quality theory here. So if you're looking at Tuscany here, some of the real high-end ones come from this tiny little section right here in the middle, and those are known for the most high quality of the Super Tuscans. But yeah, so anything within that region that has French grapes, and you know, it's so funny because you know how those old world winemakers are so picky, you know, especially the French people there. It's like
They are.
It's very strict on the rules.
They are, and so that's why, you know, they're Bordeaux, and they'll probably come and kill us if we called ours a Bordeaux.
Yeah, it's very critical. I know, they'll take a hit out, and especially with the Italians, you don't want to be too...
Yeah, you don't want to piss off an Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very strict, and so in '92, it's kind of nice to see that even Italy and some of those old world locations are allowing a little bit of that rebellious nature, and hey, let's try a different blend kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
It was very good.
So yay for that. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about that influence into the United States. Just how here in Paso they started doing a lot of those Rhone blends, you know, like the Syrah, Mourvèdre, Grenache blends, and that is a traditional Rhone blend. That became very popular here. So, but the other reason that Paso has become popular is as a contrast to Napa, who does a lot more of that Bordeaux style traditional. We have just started blending a little of anything together just to see how it works out. There's been a lot of popular blends. You know, there's Zinfandel, Cab blends. There's you could just Cab and Syrah. That's our Blanchio. That's Bordeaux and Rhone. There's a bunch of non-traditional. I've even seen people put Viognier in small amounts into red wines, which is interesting.
Sometimes it does give it a little bit more oomph. It does, I think it kind of will mellow something out if it's just not there. It kind of gives it that extra little.
I've seen a lot of Petite Syrah Zin blends.
Yeah.
And then Zin Cab blends. I mean, it crosses the whole map. They're whatever you feel like. It's a fusion, I guess. It'd be like fusion, but not food.
Yes.
So, in that same respect, the Super Tuscan, if you use that guideline of French originated wines blended with Italian originated wines, and then based on terroir, really, the location, voila, you have a Super Tuscan style. We have to call it style because it's not technically a Super Tuscan because we are not in Tuscany.
Yes. So you can't call it a Super Tuscan. So
Yeah.
that's
but tradition. Oh, I was going to ask you because I know that you found a lot of information about this. In Italy, what would you expect from a Super Tuscan on flavor?
Well, in Italy, it could be more earthy and fruity, depending on which grapes that they're going to be blending them with.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, actually, a Super Tuscan starts off with Sangiovese, and then what you want to blend it with. So if you Sangiovese, and then if you blend it with Cab and Merlot, those are big cherry bombs, big
Well,
fruity
but in the
bombs too.
old world, they talk about how it's not really fruit driven; it's more like this rustic,
earthy.
rich, earthy wine.
But now, if you were to try a Super Tuscan of today, because they
From
say
Italy or here?
from, well, you know what? It's been a while since I tried it from Italy, but they do say that you can, depending on what region or what part that we're going to, some are a little fruity, some are a little bit more earthy.
It's kind of like Pinot. I mean, it's like tasting a Pinot from Northern California and tasting one from Southern California.
And tasting a Pinot from Italy. I mean, not Italy, from France.
Well, maybe we could try that because we're breaking rules. That's what Super Tuscans are all about.
So from France, like
breaking barriers and boundaries.
Yeah, because like a lot of times the European they like to be consider themselves a little bit more old world, and one of the big things is because not so much alcohol. So that to me is a little drier, not as much fruit. But us Californians, we like those, a lot of people like those fruit bombs. They
Mhm.
like that big fruit forward jamminess, and I like it both ways.
That's
But-
what she said. You gotta appreciate them.
Yes.
I think. I mean, maybe you prefer one over the other, but you know, I'm sure they're both individually just as good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Super good. But we, as Super Tuscans, basically United States, over on our side of the country, we will be a little bit more fruit. If you have an Italian,
It's kind of
Super
also,
Tuscan,
I don't mean to interrupt, but that's that fruit forward style that California is known for is kind of also how, why France and Italy don't regard our wines as good a quality
Yeah.
because they prefer a different style.
yeah, exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
okay.
And we're, New World to Old World. I mean, it's okay. But I think they get a little bit more pissed off than we do. We're just like, whatever.
We're
And they're like,
we're like those like teenagers, those adolescent teenagers.
Yes.
And they're like walking into, the country club.
mhm.
Yeah. Oh well. You know what? We enjoy what we enjoy and that's okay.
But and then
And the other thing we forgot to mention is the Super Tuscans. It's kind of funny that they were known for lesser, or that what would you call that? It was known as a lesser quality wine for so long because they are aged in all new oak. So that's something that typically people keep for reserve wines or higher quality wines. And so now, in the US, I think a lot of people use it, the newer oak, but in Italy, now that's, probably also why they have like those rich browny flavors, kind of real. But yeah, so new oak on the Super Tuscans as well.
yes.
Browny like Superman.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and taste these two wines. This is our 2017 Tuscan Nights. Let us know what you guys are tasting tonight.
Yeah.
Kind of fun to join us.
Pop one up.
And then we will give a hint on this other bottle. It is from Santa Barbara County.
Mhm.
It is from Santa Barbara County. Ours, the 2017, is the Sangiovese is from Santa Barbara County. The Cabernet is from our estate up here. And then the Petit Syrah is also from Paso Robles area. So Cab and Petit Syrah, hot weather, Paso area. And then the Sangiovese is from Los Alamos. So warm, but not as extreme as up here.
Right.
So left first.
Left first. That's ours.
Very bright when we were talking about all these really big earthy flavors.
Mhm.
And then you taste this or just smell it, it's just like bright red cherry.
Mhm. I love it.
Maybe a little, like, what would you call that? Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. What's that leaf that you put into stews or soups?
Oh,
Bay leaf?
bay leaf.
Bay leaf, a little bay leaf.
Bay leaf.
Aw, thanks, Barb. Thank you guys all. Oh, Sherry, you know what? On Saturday, we'll have to do another drawing.
Oh
Quarantine
yes.
drawing. We haven't done one for a little while.
Quarantine.
So I just saw Sherry is watching, and Sherry had just picked up her altitude quarantine with toilet paper.
Yeah. She cradled it well.
So thank you guys. We'll do a drawing on Saturday. So
Yeah,
be sure to
so,
watch.
yeah, be sure to watch. All of your names are in the bucket. And I'm going over who signed in new, so you guys are here, so you could win our next prize.
And we don't know what that'll be. We'll probably figure that out on Saturday. Well, we'll probably figure it out tomorrow. We'll come up with the topic for Saturday, and it'll have to do with that topic.
Sounds good.
And if you guys have any topic
Yeah.
suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, if there's something out there that you think that you'd like, educate us on Chianti versus the Tuscan wine.
Chianti is, once again, regionally specific and to, just like we were talking about here, and Chianti is based on those old traditions of Italy where it's age and quality is how they do their classification. So they have the Rosso, which is the 1 year aged, I believe. That's kind of your table wine. And then there's the Montepulciano, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Reserva.
Mm-hmm.
And so each one is increased in affluence by aging. I think it's plus 2 years and then plus 4 years.
Yes.
So I think the top one is a 5-year aged product. I will double check on that one. But I'm gonna just show this map again and I'm gonna point to Chianti. I know that it's backwards when you guys see it on the screen, but it'll kind of give you a concept of how much more specific the Chianti is gonna be. So here's your main Italy over here. The blue is what's highlighted here, and you have Chianti is this little tiny part. Now, this entire section is what can be created for Super Tuscans. So the Super Tuscan is a little more of a broad AVA, but different. It's a newer concept because it's blending different grapes. So I hope that helped. Yay! All right. We can go into that further, or we can post more if you have more questions.
Yes.
But at any rate, so yeah, a lot of fruit. What did you get on the palate?
Well, I got a little bit of Bing cherry, I think.
Bing cherry.
But you know why? Because I ate a bag of them yesterday, so I
Oh.
forgot the taste of them. But I'm getting.
Is this in your Tally Farms box?
No, I wouldn't bought them.
Oh.
Bings haven't come from Tally yet, but I did get. But I'm getting that. It's that cherry, that savory.
That red, dark, rich one?
Yes.
Bonnie gets a box, so she keeps me up to date on what is in season, because she gets a box of produce from Tally Farms, which is a local co-op farm thing down in Arroyo Grande, and then she picks it up at a location up here. But you get all kinds of random things. Beets, lots of beets, right?
Beets, I'm hoping that they'll stop is the English peas. Because English peas, you can't eat the outside. It's where they make pea soup and stuff, but so you have to
It's a lot of work.
shuck them. Well, I'm not a pea girl anyways. I don't like pea soup
Bonnie.
or peas and carrots, forget it. But I'll eat it. But I definitely, we've been getting apples, we've been getting strawberries, we've been getting blueberries, and fresh lettuce.
You probably get to learn how to cook with all kinds of random ingredients.
Well, some of the stuff I use.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Just basic, but actually my roommate, she's the one that makes she made English pea soup today.
Oh.
So good for her.
So at least you have a location for your peas so they don't go homeless.
My peas.
So yeah, I mean, whenever you get something creative, I always like to hear about it. The beets.
Yes.
And
But they do have, they have some really good recipes that they send.
That's nice.
Also.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay, so now let's talk about this other one. Now, I do think I looked at I think it's, and you would know, I know it's Cab Franc and Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, right?
Yes.
And then Sangiovese, or is it Barbera?
No, they're Sangio.
Sangiovese.
And then there was a wine in there, remember? It started with an F. And I didn't know what it was. I never heard of it.
We'll reveal it and we'll take a look at it. But there is a small amount of Italian origin wine that we had never heard of. It starts with an F. But this one that we're going to be tasting now is from the Santa Barbara County, so it's their style of Super Tuscan. So we're going to compare and contrast. So.
But before we go there, what was in our Super Tuscan is it was 66 Cab, 30 Sangio, and 4 Petite Syrah. So we just threw in 2 besides the Sangio to make ours a Super Tuscan.
And I'll say this about that with our Super Tuscan, we are not as big in Verani. So they wanted to create like this big, rich blend in Old World. Ours is kind of a little more delicate, and I think those 3 different components that are all very different just kind of give it a little bit more dynamic. We're not trying to make this really big over the top line. We're just trying to create some layers and a little complexity. And we don't use 100% new oak on this. We do probably about anywhere from 30 to 50% new oak, because it is still a delicate wine and we don't want to over oak it.
Right. But with this, the the oak, which I have to tell you, I'm an Okie from Muskogee. I love oaks. So.
Well, and I think that over time is gonna dissipate.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's gonna soften and make it, but
it's really overwhelming.
Yep.
And it's funny, we just did our thing on oak barrels last week, and I told Bonnie earlier, I was like, I think this is American oak, because I pick up a lot of that like coconut rich,
Yep.
woody kind of smell.
and you know how we like our wood,
We do.
woody.
That we do. Yes, we do.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. All right. I'm not getting much fruit on the nose.
Mm.
Maybe a little stone.
Yeah.
Granite.
A little granite.
I get granite and coconut.
I do too.
Got a hint of coconut. Coconut husk.
You're gonna get that husk when you taste
Little
it.
husky.
Mhm.
Little husky.
It's gonna go slap you in the face a little.
Coconut. What is it that more people get killed from a coconut falling out of a tree
Yep.
than win the law? I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
When I lived in Hawaii, there was when you're in the parks. I mean, because they're ocean parks and there's coconut trees everywhere. There's a sign pretty much on every coconut tree. Watch out for falling coconuts because people don't really look up and then boom.
Well, around here, I think the biggest thing we get hit with is like a peach or a lemon.
Yep.
Maybe an avocado.
Oh,
Grapefruit. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. Avocados hurt when you get hit.
Oh,
I got-
especially an unripe one.
Yeah. Bing.
Oh my. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, I'm starting to get a little vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
That could also be coming from the oak, though. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna taste this one. Now this is what surprised me about this wine. After that nose, which is really overwhelming oak flavor,
Yeah. You don't really.
it is super smooth on the palate. But also not, I mean, on the finish, I'm getting a little of that vanilla. But there is more fruit, and it's not really as acidic as I was expecting it to be.
Not either, and I'm wondering if it's the different grapes that they use to help that.
Well, does it have the percentages on the bottle?
I can look.
Take a look, and we'll hide this from the screen so you guys don't see it. And then we're gonna name that fourth
Name
wine.
that tune.
But yeah, so this is good. I bet you that this will be a good one for aging. And then, like, so this to me would be like two different styles. It's this, I mean, these are both considered California Super Tuscan, California, but completely different styles of wine.
It's from 2 districts, so it's not Alamos
Los Alamos and
and
probably Santa Barbara, Santa Ynez.
Los Alamos and the hills of the Warmer Valley View Vineyard.
Okay. What about the percentages?
It's not. It's just telling us that 42% from Los Alamos Vineyard and then 58% from the other vineyard. So it's not giving us the percentages of the grapes.
What about that F? So we're striking out, however, what's the F varietal? We're gonna find it. We're trying to hide the bottle. We're so, we're so crazy. Hold it like a baby. Freesia. Okay, so it's like Freesia, F-R-E-I-S-A.
Look it up.
Free-
Tell us what it's about.
Freisa, which
Which I've never heard
I've
of.
never heard of either. But we were talking about some of the other varieties that have literally almost become extinct.
Yeah.
So some of these that never became popular have become extinct.
But this has like petite Verdot in it too.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I think that's what gives it that nice dark richness color.
So this one is definitely a little beefier than ours, but I'm not getting as much fruit.
Yes, I am not. So this is probably more of a traditional way you would get a Super Tuscan in Italy from this type of place that we got this wine. But looking at it, ours is right there. It may be just a tad lighter, not very much.
I'll have to pour a little more in my glass.
And ours is a 17, this is a 16. So it's just like
Oh my gosh, you're right. The color is
It's
very close.
very close.
Yeah.
So, and like the hue, even though ours is a little lighter, but it still has a really nice hue.
Yeah, I think these are both really good, very interesting and
Yeah.
different. So yeah, that's kind of our take on Super Tuscans. Not a very popular thing. So I was talking to someone just recently about Italian varietals, Sangiovese, and it's just not something that's planted as prevalently around here. So it is a little harder to find. Paso Robles has a little bit down south. You don't see too much in Monterey County, not much in Napa, but up in Amador County, that's kind of a big area for Italian varietals as well. So
I love Amador County.
I know. I need once this all calms down, gotta take a trip.
We have to take a. Okay. Now let me just talk about comparing the two.
Oh, okay.
After tasting,
It looks like you just had an epiphany.
I did because I just went wow. After tasting the one we got from down south, which didn't have a whole lot of fruit, but when I tasted ours, it opened it was so bright, very bright, very.
Oh, huge in comparison
Yes.
flavor-wise.
Yes, but this flavor-wise, the fruit, it brightened up my mouth. It actually made me smile.
Oh, how cool.
Yes.
It is, they're contrastingly completely different
Yes.
to me. And it is kind of fun to taste them side by side. This is very light in comparison, our Tuscan Nights.
Yes.
It is, like you said, very fruity, really delicate.
Nice. It's very. It is delicate. It's elegant. It's nicely balanced.
If you were gonna have dinner, what would you have and what would you pair it with?
With the Super Tuscan,
With both of these?
With ours.
Because I don't know that I would eat the same meal with these.
I wouldn't either. Super Tuscan, our Tuscan Nights. I would actually pair this with. You can pair it with a lot of things. I definitely will always go good with my spaghetti and meatballs, but I don't.
Nothing, I was gonna say, nothing beats your balls.
No.
Sorry.
Especially two of them. If you can, in your mouth. But anyways, so, but this Super Tuscan, it's bigger, so I think this would stand up to, like, if you even wanted to take, like, veal parmesan and, what is all the other?
Something rich, yeah.
What's-
Honestly, you know what I was, okay, so I'm in agreement with you on this one. Pasta with like a tomato or even meat,
Yeah,
kind of on the lighter side of things.
yes.
This one, I was actually thinking pork belly
Wow.
with a glaze.
Yes, but I didn't think, yes.
Just an appetizer though, I was not thinking
Yeah.
a whole meal.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if I could eat a whole meal with that. Oh my goodness.
He's right.
Or I guess balls are always good too, but I would go with the pork belly on this because it's really big. I don't know that I would enjoy this over an entire meal of Italian food of delicate flavor, but pork belly with either a little roasted fruit or some sort of lighter bedding,
Yeah.
I guess I would say, to rest the pork belly on.
And actually, this would probably, because this is a little earthiness, I would compare maybe. I don't really care for it, but my mom loved it. Eggplant parmesan.
Oh my god.
This would go really good with eggplant.
We were talking
parmesan.
about it. I learned to like eggplant, and when this whole coronavirus started, I couldn't get meat. I couldn't get a lot of the regular vegetables that I normally get at the supermarket, so I was stuck with eggplant.
Wow.
Yeah. No lettuce, no broccoli, no I went eggplant over cauliflower because I'm not a huge cauliflower fan.
Oh, good, because, in Tally Farms, they kept on giving me cauliflower.
Oh.
But
Great.
have you ever had cauliflower mashed potatoes?
I have. I have not tried to make them. I'll eat them if someone else makes them,
Okay.
and they're good.
I need that little presser to.
You can-
I
the
wanna
ricer?
order- I want to order one of those.
Oh, for sure.
definitely.
Oh, cool. Well, if you guys have any other questions, let us know. But so normally we do quarantine tips at the end of this, but we're just gonna give you guys an update about what's going on here because we're still figuring it out day to day. But just so you guys all know, we are technically open. For some reason, the powers that be have decided that restaurants can open, breweries, tasting rooms, we can open, but we have to accompany our wine with a quote unquote hearty meal. So I don't know why that makes it safer. Maybe the coronavirus is allergic to food. I doubt it though, but.
And I don't know why it's different for breweries, because breweries are not serving a hearty meal. But
because you can go to a restaurant and just order a drink.
yeah, you can go. And I'm not complaining. I am so not complaining about that. I just hope that who's ever making these rules will kind of figure out, oh, that has nothing to do with wine tasting.
Or it has nothing to do with safety in general.
Yeah, we're very safe in the way we're doing things
My
here.
hands are so dry for all the sanitation
Me
we've been
too.
doing.
But I do like the wine shine stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Did you try drinking it? I did.
I have not. Oh, did you? So Wine Shine is a local distillery. So a few of the local distilleries have made their own hand sanitizer. So I went and bought it in bulk because we had our own. He actually ran out of small dispensers, but he told me that they, like, when this all started, they have to distill things anyways. But this is actually grapes. Distilled from grapes.
Really?
And he told me what it was, and I cannot remember.
Do you know if
Are you gonna taste it? Okay, here we go. It's really high alcohol. What do you think?
I think if I was,
He said it was a high quality grape too.
there's a lot of alcohol in here, but I bet you if I drank it, to me this is like moonshine.
Oh, well, that's kind of what they make, but I gotta say, you know, they were talking about like drinking Clorox, you know, it was a joke, I'm sure, but
Drinking
somehow
Clorox?
injecting Clorox or bleach into your system. What if we just drank a bunch of hand sanitizer?
Well, we just need to make sure that that's drinkable.
I'll text him.
Okay,
We'll find out if Bonnie's gonna
Here
be
I am,
okay.
right? No. Drinking like a dog and.
We're big on sanitation. You better sanitize after you did that with your tongue. We don't know where that's been. Oh my God. But yeah, so the other thing is we do have to be limited on occupancy. So our occupancy has been cut in half. From what I understand, they are going to slowly open that up a little more. Everyone who does come in, you guys can taste. If you guys are going to come in, give us a call or something beforehand, just so that if we do get busy, we'll save you a spot, because obviously our club members get priority.
Yes.
So we do have to have you seated. No one can stand at the bar anymore.
Yeah,
right
for
now.
right now, but
But we've set everything up
But
with
the whole
social
thing is-
distancing in mind.
we have seats that can sit at the bar. That's what I don't understand.
But they're not supposed to be at the bar.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. These rules change day to day, and they make no sense to me. I'm just trying to follow them in some respect. But to me, the sanitation is the most critical thing. We're going to be wearing masks, so don't freak out. You guys, obviously, I mean, if you're tasting wine, you can't wear a mask, really.
So you just, come see us.
Yeah, but yeah, so we are open right now until things kind of open up a little more. We are open regularly for the public Thursday through Sunday. Although we're here every day, so we can be available, even if it's just call us 15 minutes before you get here. That's fine. But yeah, come on by and see us. Safety in mind, absolutely. Yeah, do you have anything else? Oh, this Friday is cruise night in Paso, social distancing cruise night. Bonnie will be out on.
I'll be out on my scooter in the
chicken
chicken costume, and I have a great T-shirt that they gave me, and it says "I Heart Paso."
We're thinking of putting a big thing. Actually, we have to do it. Maybe we should wait until we get a picture of you with that one on. We're gonna put a big poster of Bonnie on with a chicken suit on her scooter.
And this is Caitlin's chicken suit.
She's become a local sensation.
I have become super popular, and pretty, even though they say, "Hey, there's the chicken lady," that's okay. At least I've always wanted to become famous In my lifetime, I think I have.
And who knew that it would be dressed as a chicken?
Who knew? And I just like to make people smile, and the kids love me.
Oh my gosh.
The
Everyone
chicken
loves
is the chicken.
it. When she's out on the sidewalk, you can watch the cars, like everyone's just like, oh my god.
They honk.
Mm-hmm.
They honk at me.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I think chickens are a little nicer than clowns.
Oh god, 100%.
Yeah. Even though clowns go to birthday parties,
Why can't a chicken go?
yeah, now I can be the birthday chicken.
Birthday chicken.
Yeah.
I just realized that we're wearing matching shirts.
Oh shoot.
I didn't even notice it. We're like twinsies
We're
today.
twinsies.
It's very hot outside, so I don't normally wear shorts, but
I wear shorts too.
we're both wearing shorts.
And I have to go, I can't wait till the store's open because I need to get some new shirts.
Yes.
I pulled them out and I'm like,
I need to get a lot of new wardrobe items, because I've been really avoiding shopping of any kind.
yeah, I'm not the best shopper either.
So
Alright, quarantine
All right.
tips.
that's it. No, that was it. Come down. Restaurants are open. I don't have. Oh, do you have any tips?
I have a tip.
Okay. Let's hear it. Oh, I can't wait.
My tip of the day for being a quarantine chicken,
Ooh, quarantine
Is-
chicken.
you know how chickens, they can huddle with themselves. And they don't get all mad at each other. So my new motto is I'm gonna try to be a quarantine chicken, and I'm not gonna be mad at anybody, because everybody handles quarantine differently. So think of it that way. You know, even though that person's not used to being around a lot of chickens, just let them go peck and scratch themselves.
Yeah. I mean, we saw some tension, like Paso has been great, I think, in dealing with this, but as things start to loosen up more and more, I think that we're gonna be getting a lot of that tension back, or some tension, just because everyone's gonna disagree. Oh, we should do this, we should do that, and when the first day that we reopened, I was very overwhelmed because it's like opening new, because we have all these new rules. And so that'll be my quarantine tip of the day, is be patient.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say too.
But you're gonna be, I like the chicken thing.
Yeah, we're gonna be a little chicken. I'll be pecking.
Pecking and scratching and minding your own chicken business. So that, yeah, there's so much, even driving on the freeway, there's more and more cars, but there's more crazy drivers out there
Yeah.
now, so.
Now I'm scared, because it's gonna be like the people that are in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. They're gonna be out there because they haven't been out 6 weeks, 10 weeks. And so look out for the other guy.
It's like opening the cage of a new puppy.
Oh my God.
They go wild.
Yes, they know.
So we'll see. But yeah, be patient, be kind, and come visit us.
Yes.
Call us for reservations. And yes, the chicken lady does make everyone smile, that's for sure. Including us. I think we get the biggest kick out of it.
Yeah, we laugh more than anything.
It's
great.
like your alter ego.
It is. It is. It's like my split personality.
So,
But be kind, unwind with Pianetta.
yeah, cheers. Thanks
Cheers.
for joining us, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Cheers.
Send in your request for topic, otherwise
Yes.
we'll post one tomorrow.
Right on.
And don't forget to be there for the drawing.
Yes. We got a good.
Oh my God, I have one more announcement.
Stop.
I sent an email out earlier today, but I did want to announce that John, my dad, is going to be on a Zoom hangout. Paso Robles Wine is putting together Zoom hangouts on Wednesdays and Fridays. He will be on the one this Friday. Friday the 29th is his Zoom day. It is at 3 p.m. And I have had to explain to him several times exactly what Zoom is. He actually thinks everyone will be here. And I said, no, Dad, virtually. And I don't know if he got the concept. However, it's going to be himself and 2 other Navy veterans. They got to meet and swap wines out the other day, and it was a lot of fun to just hear them talk. They ended up talking for over an hour. So yeah, it's about their journey from the Navy to winemaking. It's going to be the theme. And they've only allocated 30 minutes. I think they're going to need a little longer.
Yeah, I think so too. Did you have your dad even tried any of the wine?
Well, we got to do it on Friday because
Oh,
I
I
think
thought
we're
you
going
were
to
supposed
taste it while we're there, right?
Oh, I thought they wanted to exchange wine so they can taste it then.
On Friday, during the Zoom. It
No,
says that we're supposed to sip on something.
I understand that, but I thought that your dad was supposed to taste it so they could talk about the wine prior.
We'll taste it before.
No, I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
good.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Well,
I
I'm
guess I
gonna be on
should
my
clarify.
scooter, so I won't be able to.
Well, it's at 3. The cruise night doesn't start till 7.
Oh, now it's 7?
I don't know. I'll have to look. At any rate, Zoom with us on Friday, cruise with us on Friday, hang out with us.
All weekend.
We are here.
We're
So,
here for you.
cheers. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Hey, this has some nice tear legs. Nice legs.
Nice legs. Like the chicken? Are they chicken legs?
They're chicken legs.